Hello everyone, welcome back to the Game Room. This is Michael, and before we continue with our Demon's Souls walkthrough, I thought I'd share with you a franchise of games that I'm really enthusiastic about. And a shout out goes to my good friend Phil. You know who you are, mate. He knows who he is. And it was thanks to Phil that I got into these games. I would never have even thought about it. Now, first of all, Sniper Elite 4, for those of you that don't know about it, it's a first-person shooting game, but it's not a run-and-gun shooter by any means. This is a thinking man's game. Anyway, there's so much to tell you about this that it's, I'm not going to be able to cover it in a 10-15 minute review. So what we'll do is we'll go into it. I'm going to select a mission. Now, first of all, when you purchase the base game, you start with 8 missions. Now, that might not seem like a lot, and well, I think quantity-wise it isn't, but if you consider if you're brand new to the game, these levels are enormous. They're massive. They're sprawling, and if you're playing this for the first time, the way you approach the game, if you do all the side missions, it's going to take you between 2 to 4 hours to complete each mission. So that's a hell of a lot of gameplay time. If you decide that you want the downloadable content, you get some extra weapons and you get 4 extra levels, which are absolutely fantastic. So that gives you a total of 12 missions. It's absolutely brilliant. Anyway, the first mission is basically a tutorial level. So what we'll do is we'll go into the later ones. Let's go into Lorino Dockyard. Now, in my personal opinion, Sniper Elite deserves to be played in Sniper Elite hard mode because it gives you a really tense atmosphere. It's some really tight gameplay. It's the best way to experience it. If you play it on easy, you can pretty much breeze through the game, but if you really want to experience it how it should be played, try it on hard, and you've got all sorts of different parameters that you can adjust. Choose the loadout you want, depending on what weapons you've unlocked. I choose these two. I do like the Carcano sniper rifle because it's got some very good zoom. It doesn't have a great rate of fire, but then again, if you're sniping, you don't necessarily need a good rate of fire. If you position yourself in the right place, then it'll serve you extremely well. Now, I'm running this on a PS5. As always, so it's got a few improvements on the PS5. It's got 4K visuals and 60 frames a second. Anyway, before you start each mission, you go to this hub where you can chat to a few of your allies and you can learn a few bits of info. And we won't do that during the review because it'll take too long. So what we do is we go over to our weapon cache and we load up as much as we can. And we're going to start the mission straight away. Now, the other reason I really like Sniper Elite 4 is because I'm Italian and this is set entirely in Italy. So all of your enemies and non-player characters, they all speak in their own language. When the Germans are after you, they speak in German. If you go to the sections where there are both allies and enemies in Italy, they'll speak in their own language. It's rather poetic Italian. Some of it actually makes me laugh because you won't ever catch, Italian soldiers during World War II speaking like they're on a theatre stage. But nevertheless, they're little touches that make the game very charming. Now, what you tend to do here is switch to suppressed ammo. This is my pistol. It takes a little while to load this one, but nevertheless it's got some very good range. Now, first of all, the graphics are very detailed. It's available on both the PS4 and the Xbox One, but even on those consoles, the graphics are extremely detailed. There's some very good detail in it, very authentic detail. Now this guy's getting up, so what we're going to do is we're going to aim at his head and shoot him. And you can miss, So you've really got to be very careful here. But you know what? The gameplay isn't frustrating. It's actually very compelling and very interesting. It's very tense. The atmosphere is tremendous, as you can hear from the sound effects. Not just the actual music, but
This'll come in very
the
useful.
sounds and noises in each level that you hear. Distant people shouting and speaking in their own language. It's just really, really good. You've got subtitles as well, so they translate what the German and Italian soldiers are saying if you don't understand those languages. But my advice would be to switch them off so you don't know what they're saying. It makes everything even more tense. So basically, when you approach each level, you can tackle the level in any way you like. They're not linear. And with every single playthrough, and I mean with every single playthrough, all the soldiers react differently, depending on how you approach each level, what you do, even the tiniest thing that you do differently to the way you did it previously, perhaps. They will react differently. It's never the same. They'll speak differently, they'll say different reactive phrases, they'll try and flank you, or they might not. It's such a fantastic game, and I can go on and on about how brilliant it is. And it'll just never be enough, because it's tremendous. Now, this is how I tend to tackle this level. You can even leave this chunk out and go straight down in that direction without sniping the soldiers, or you can sneak up on them and do a melee attack. But Sniper Elite is one of those games that it's truly a thinking man's game. Now this guy I can probably get with a sniper rifle. And this is one of the best bits of the game. The X-ray kill cam. Whenever you snipe somebody, you see the actual bullet fly through the air and perforate any part of your enemy's body. It could be his head, it could be your arms, your legs, your intestines. You get a liver shot, you get a kidney shot, a heart shot, and a very humorous one, which I tend to try and do as much as I can, because the kill cam for that is excellent. You can do a testicle shot. Yeah, you can shoot them right in the nuts, and you'll see this bullet fly through the air and literally explode their poor old testicles. And yeah, it kind of never gets old. The other thing you can do, if you click R3, you can look through your binoculars, and you press R2 and you can tag soldiers. Like, for example, this guy up here. If you tag him, there's another guy down there somewhere. You can also tag objects, like these vehicles, for example, and this tank. There's another guy down there. Tag that vehicle. You can also tag things like explosive barrels or weapons caches, and you can take out several guards at once if they're all bunched up nearby. You can throw stones to attract them, like so, and it makes them wonder what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot that barrel that contains. Shoot the car as well. You can aim for the engine, or you can aim for the actual fuel tank. And they'll eventually go up in flames. You watch this. Basically, you can cause as much or as little chaos as you so please. Now, you can either wait for those soldiers to sort of get blown up, or you can kill them yourself, and then you can go into that building and tackle the level in that fashion. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but nevertheless you can still do it. So you can get a certain part of a mission out of the way first. Now, if you press your touchpad on the right, you get a view of your map. If you click L1, you can see your primary objectives, which are the top, and underneath you've got the optional ones. And even the optional ones are a lot of fun to do. It extends the length of time that you're in each of these massive levels, so they can last as long or as little as you want them to. But really, as a general rule, between 2 and 4 hours easily. You can just take your time with these levels. You can soak in this incredible atmosphere. Let's shoot this guy. Yes, it's rather gruesome, isn't it? But very satisfying. Now, of course, I do want to show you a testicle shot, so we're going to try and see if we can find somebody whose nuts we can blow off. And of course, if they're crouched down behind something, you can't get them in the nuts, unfortunately. But I'm sure we'll find somebody. Right, let's see. There's another one to tag. You can tag that vehicle down there. Tag those barrels. Tag this guy. Tag as much as you possibly can. Look, there's another one running. Now, if you hide in these bushes, you can't be seen. I would recommend trying to look for some suppressed ammo, or equip it in your loadout, and use suppressed bullets to sort of take silent shots. The other thing you can do, you can also use certain items in the environment to sound mask. For example, you can use planes, well, not use them, but if you hear planes flying overhead, they will sound mask a shot. So if you don't have any suppressed ammo left, you can use, for example, planes that fly over. You can use cannon blasts from enemies' weapons being tested. The other thing, you can also find some generators. If you interact with those, they start sparking and popping and banging, and that creates sound masking. So there are so many ways in which you can take out enemies. Now let's see if we can get a testicle shot on this guy, but he has to be facing me. Come on, you face me. Oh, he's a pain in the arse, isn't he? Oh well. And there's another one climbing those stairs up there. Well, we can always shoot him up the arse. That didn't work. But of course, the headshots are the way to go. It's all about creating diversions, havoc, chaos. It's all about scuffling the guards so they never know where you are. And yes, you can go out all guns blazing, but you don't last very long. There are times when you have to resort to your machine gun. If you're attacked by 2 or 3 guards, if you're lucky, you can take them all out, but you have to be very lucky. And that's pretty much Sniper Elite for you. There's so much more I can tell you about this game, but it would take so much time. But do I recommend it? Absolutely 100%. All of the Sniper Elites, but in particular the 4th one is the very best. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Ciao ciao!